Hello, everybody. We're going to take a look at Unit 5.2G in WAMAP, which is volume of a cylinder. And this first question doesn't have a picture of the cylinder on it, so you'll need to understand the terms here. We're going to use the GED formula sheet, which is under the GED WAMAP formula sheet tab in Canvas, and we're looking at volume, and volume of a cylinder is what we're looking for. So this first set of formulas is for surface area. So this is if you were going to wrap that shape in gift wrap, in wrapping paper, like for a present, that's surface area. And then to the right of that is the volume. And what I like to do for volume is often, like volume of a rectangle is L times W. Volume of a prism, a square prism, is L times W times H. So if you just get the area of the basic shape and then multiply by the height, you'll usually get volume. And it's the GED formula sheet doesn't have any pictures on it, so I like to use the WAMAP one, which does have the illustrations. And you can see here where you've got a square LW and LWH, and then for a cylinder you've got the area of a circle, which is pi r squared, and then for the volume of a cylinder, which is like a lot of circles stacked up, is pi r squared times h. So if you get the surface area for these first two, if you get the surface area and then multiply that by the height, you can think of that surface area as going through the whole object to give you the volume. All right, so that's just if you're planning to take the GED, definitely go over the GED formula sheet so that you will know what to expect. If you have trouble memorizing these formulas or understanding how to calculate volume or area. One more thing I'd like to point out is that there's a capital B here, which when you are calculating the volume of a right prism, they have this capital B, which is the area itself. This is the area. This is base times height, and then so it's very confusing that they introduced this new term. If they could have said base times height times depth, that would have been awesome, but they don't. And I think if you don't study this before you take the test, you won't. This formula sheet might be confusing. Anyway, this is the area of the base. So it's basically what I'm telling you to do, but they tucked this in here, and it's only a side note. So prism, square, right prism, I would still say LWH is a safe way to do that, a good way to do that. But let's take a look at this problem. A cylindrical soup can has a radius of 1.7 inches and is 6 inches tall. Find the volume of the can. Okay, so let's take a look at the, so let's see if I can remember what I just looked at. All right, so we've got a 1.7 inch radius and 6 inch height. So they do kind of tuck things away. 6 inches tall, you'll need to know that that is the height, and 1.7 inches is the radius. So let's draw a picture of a can. And so 6 inches here for the height, and then the radius here, right? So that's from the center out to 1 point. That's 1.7 inches. That's R. And this one is H. So you can use the area, find the area of a circle. So if we go back to that, oops, that's the WAMAP page. Let's see if I can find it easily. Okay, there we go. Area of a circle. All right, area of a circle, pi r squared, and then we're just going to multiply pi r squared by h, right? So over here we've got r and h, and we know pi is just pi. And they didn't tell us to use 3.14 for pi in our instructions at WAMAP. Let's take a look and make sure. Yeah, it doesn't say. Round your answer to the nearest tenth, so we can do that. So let's go back to the tablet. So pi r squared, let's get a different color. Pi r squared will give us the area, is the area, and volume is equal to that area times the height. Okay, so we're going to do it that way. Calculate the area of this top part, and then multiply it by the height, which will extend that area down to the bottom. That'll give us the volume, right? So let's plug in, substitute numbers here. We have pi, r is 1.7, so pi times 1.7 squared, right? That'll give us the area. And then if we just multiply that by 6, we'll get the total. So according to PEMDAS, we should do our squares first. So let's, my calculator is still broken, so I'm gonna do them up here. 1.7, so you can just tell your browser and then shift that caret key, an uppercase 6, and then a 2, and hit enter, and you'll get 2.89. So now we have pi times 2.89 times 6. And so this is, we can just go ahead and multiply those out. So let's put those in. Times pi times 6. Let's see what we get. Okay, so 54.475. And we only need to write out as far as the hundredths place, because we're rounding to 1 decimal place, right? Let's take a look. Round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so you do have to recognize those words and be able to understand what a cylinder is, what the tall means height. Okay, so I think the best way to do that is just practicing these as much as you can. So we've got 54.47, and they're asking us to round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to underline that number and draw an arrow to the 7. So the number on the immediate right of the number we are rounding. Wow, okay. I guess I must have bumped the connector. All right, so this is 5 or higher, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. If that's true, then this number that's underlined gets incremented by 1. So our final answer will be 54.5. And this is in cubic inches. And usually at WAMAP, they put the units there for you. So it says inches cubed or cubic inches, that's the same thing. So if you put in 54.5, that should work. Hoping for a green check, there it is. And then down here they have a picture, which is easier. So, but they are giving you the diameter here, and this is in centimeters. So you need to take half of the diameter to get the radius and square that, multiply that by this number, and then you'll get the volume of the entire cylinder. This is a box of oatmeal. Okay, so if you get into any trouble, click that message instructor link, and I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours with some help, and we can set up a Zoom session if you need it. All right, go ahead and give it a try.